Right, okay. All right, so I just want to ask from you, all right, are there any members who managed to join today who also participated in our previous tutorial? Hello? Hello, guys.
Yeah. Hello.
All right, I'm asking a question. All right, I'm saying, I just want to understand from you whether you also participated in our previous tutorial or it's your first time.
Myself, I participated.
All right, who else? Oh, okay. All right, it's fine. So I just want to understand from you, it's a financier.
Yes.
All right, can you give us a brief description of what we covered in our previous tutorial?
I think in our previous tutorial, we tried to define what is a database. We looked onto the components of a database management system. And yeah, I think that is what I can remember. The introductory part.
Are you sure?
Yes.
The introductory part only.
And
we covered even the database architecture.
Yes. Yes, we did.
We did, and then we covered the era diagram.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, so now we we just want to continue starting from the database lifecycle. Right, okay. So you said we covered the basics of database. All right, so what is really a database? Let us start from there. What is a database? So that we all know the life cycle of something which we are able to define. Right, it's gonna be an interactive session because it's a tutorial, and I heard you are going to write the exams very soon. So obvious, I think you have prepared much for this tutorial. So obvious, it's sort of a revision because you have already read widely concerning this issue. So let us have an interactive session so that I also enjoy this tutorial. So what is a database? You guys, do you want a tutorial or?
I think we can say a database is a collection of related records. So briefly.
Okay. All right, so it's fine. So we are saying it's a well-defined collection of data, which is being stored electronic in a computer system, right? All right, so we are saying it's fine for us to come up with a database. All right, suppose you want to have a database at a workplace. The people are saying, no, because we said we needed to understand the applications of these database, where the database are being used, where we said in supermarkets, if you go to a supermarket, there will be a database system in a supermarket. Even if you go to a hotel setup, you get a database there. Even if you go to Zimbabwe, you get a database. Even in your organizations, you have got database systems there. So now, suppose you are an organization and you say, no, we now need to have a database in our company. What are you supposed to do? So that's the topic which we are starting from, to say we need to understand the life cycle of database life cycle, the phases which are involved if you want to have a database system in an organization. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, we are together.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So,
Yes.
all right. So I think since others are joining for the first time, I just want to understand your knowledge with these things, databases. Where are you working from? Are you working from IT, or you are working from other departments? Those who have joined for the first time.
I'm working from other departments.
Which department?
Into marketing and doing merchandising.
Or doing merchandising?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys, let us do this quickly. If you want us to cover a lot, obvious, you need to respond as quickly as possible. I don't want to seem as if I'm talking to people who don't want to participate. It's no longer grade 1 or grade 5. We are now adults. Please let us respond as soon as possible. Hello, others, please.
Hello. And me myself, I'm not working anyway. I'm not working well anyway. I'm just a student.
Okay, it's fine. Another one?
Not working as well. Currently the house manager.
Okay. Another one? Right. The reason why I'm asking this one is for me to determine the scale which I'm going to use. Because I may assume that you all know these things, or you are working from IT and you have been using this database before. So if you don't tell me, then obviously I'm going to deepen the conversation. All right. So we are
please please don't assume that we don't know anything. We just want to hear knowledge as from what we read, being a pattern, so that we'll be fully prepared for the exam.
But you have read, confirm you have read, because you are going to write an exam.
Sometimes we read, but you don't understand the actual logical knowledge. So when you say it, we'll be reflecting, getting to understand more and be confident in ourselves.
Right, it's fine. So I'm saying, okay, whether you are at home not working or you are working in an organization, I'm going to give an example of an organization as well as at home. Because if at home, you need to have sort of a system, right? The system may be manual, but you need to make sure that you have got a system in place. All right, so what we are saying is that suppose an organization was to implement a database system, what these guys are supposed to do first is to make sure that they plan. So that's the reason why we are saying we need to have database planning. All right, so what is really planning? Come on, you guys.
Okay, generally what we call planning is just general what we call planning in generalization form. We just mean like giving the points like what is needed for this database, what is it suited for, what the reason why we will need to put this database. Are we dealing with maybe a hospital? Is it a hospital or a shop? If it's a shop, you know the price of commodity, so it you need to, in this place the type of things that we are going to plan. We are going to put for the database. So I think that's the key planning, because if you plan for something that we don't know we are going to put information for, it will be wrong with strategic. So I think planning is just a strategic way. Which are we going to have our database? What actually are we going to put inside our database?
Right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think in planning, we are now that's the initial stage where we are trying to define what we want to do, to define the problem and understand and analyzing it. The current system maybe which we will be using within an organization. We need to understand it and then we identify the problems.
All right, okay, so in this case we are saying we need to have a desired objective, and then we need to make sure that we plan or have mechanisms for us to achieve those goals. So in this case, we are saying, all right, we need to understand the tasks that are involved in the planning, and also we need to make sure that for us to achieve what we need to make sure that there are resources or the budget which will be attached to that. So now, are you seeing my screen, the second screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So in this case now, we are saying those are the things which we need to make sure that we deal with in the planning stage. All right, so we need to make sure that we analyze the current system. All right, to say, okay, if we are in an organization, you can say, no, guys, we are experiencing challenges with the current system. Seems that there is a background noise. What is the cause of that background noise? All right, let us put our speaker on mute if we are not speaking, right? Right. So we are saying, suppose you're in an organization, the first thing which you need to understand is your current environment. Right? Are we having a manual system here? Do we have a system which is giving us challenges? What do we have right now? Then if you have got a manual system, if you have got a system which is giving you problems, then you say, guys, we need now to do a determination of scope and objective. All right, where we say, no, we need to define the problems which we have. What are the problems which we have? And what are the constraints? What are the limitations with the current system? Right, so that one will make sure that you will be able to come up with the objectives. Then after coming up with the objectives, then you need to define the boundaries. You need to define the scope to say, okay, all right, this system, we need to make sure that we implement it in one branch, or we need to make sure that we implement this system in our Kanban, covering all our branches. And you need now to come up with the feasibility research, where we are saying the feasibility research will be talking about the economic feasibility. Do we have the monetary resources to make sure that we drive this system? And we need to also come up with the technical feasibility to say, okay, do we have the technical expertise to make sure that we deliver this? And what are the technical resources, maybe for you to program, or for you to say, no, we need the database. Which database platform do we need? Do we need an Oracle platform? Do we need SQL Server platform? Do we need MySQL? Do we need Postgres? So you need also to understand now the technical feasibility, then the organizational feasibility, to say, is the organization willing to accept this change for us to bring the new system? All those things, we need also to understand those things. Right, so that's the planning stage. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, please just say no questions so that I proceed.
For me, it's actually clear. There is no question.
For me, it's clear.
Can
Okay.
proceed.
It's fine.
My question is, how are we going to check that feasibility on planning?
Sorry? I can
My
hardly
question
hear
is
you.
on a feasibility research.
Yes.
How are we going to do that feasibility stage, like feasibility research under that planning?
Right, okay. I said, whenever you are planning to implement a system, all right, what you need to understand is, okay, is the organization willing to change this system? That's technical, that's feasibility. This is organizational feasibility. Then there is economic feasibility. You need to come up with a budget. All right, is the organization going to fund this budget? Then the technical expertise. Do we have the people who can implement this system? And do we have the technical resources? So what's your question on that? Because I thought it's imperative that I start with this description. What was your question?
now it's clear, but my question was like, actually, a feasibility research is something that we can just delegate other people to go, maybe the system we're using to figure out the problems, or maybe go outside and see how the system is working. Then they come back and solve, giving the solutions on the problems of the system. I don't know, like from the feasibility research, is going and benchmarking and information somewhere and come up with that information and maybe modify the system. So that my question was like, how are we going to do that feasibility stage or on the database? Maybe I'm in an organization, maybe I'm using this database, but there is some problems that I'm facing with the database. So when I'm doing the feasibility stage, how am I going to do the feasibility stage? That was my question, but I understand what I said.
Okay. All right, okay. Remember when we are, have you done what you call systems analysis and design? Do you do that, this module, guys? Or you are yet to do it, or I'm not so sure. All right, when we are developing, that one will be sort of a system development, because system development and data development. All right, can someone put the mic on mute? Because there is a background noise. All right, so we are saying, like what I said, whenever you are doing, you want to implement a system, the first thing which you need to do is to make sure that you come up with a budget, right? That budget will make sure that it spells out most of the things. Do we have the material resources? Do we have the human resources? Do we have other resources? All right, so it's fine. So let me proceed to the next all right, to the next point. That database design. All right, confirm you have sent your assignments. The second assignment.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did it.
All right, so there was a questionnaire which was asking you on database design. Confirm it was there.
Yes, it was there.
Yes, it was there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was there.
Okay. All right, but
That's difficult.
but you guys, I think you need to improve on the way you write your assignments. You need to improve, because I had a torrid time. To say how many marks can I give to this particular answer. So it's only that I'm a human, but yeah, you guys, you need to improve. All right, anyway, that's not the subject. All right, so since you have done the assignment, can someone take us through the database design?
I think the database design has got 3 parts, which we have to look into when we are making the design of this database, which are the conceptual design, there is logic design, and the physical design. That's my taking.
Okay, from here, basically, the database design stage is actually the phase of the actual representation of the database and how the data is going to be represented and what form it will be taken, and the relationship between the data. So basically, that's the database design, the actual representation of the data and the relationship between the content data.
Right, okay. All right, so before we move on to those phases, all right, I just want to understand from you, there are basically two database design approaches which we normally use. Which are these database design approaches?
I think we have the top-down method and the bottom-up method, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, yeah, so can you expand on those points? You are correct on that, so we need to expand.
The top-down method, I will try to explain it. Maybe I won't do it correctly, but the top-down method is it's more like we're starting from the user's view, going down to the physical design of the database, and the bottom up is actually we're starting from the physical design stage up to the user's view.
All right, okay, so can we separate those two? Hello, I've asked the question to say, can we separate those two to say, I just want to use this one I don't want to use it?
Okay, maybe I can try that one. Yeah, at times they are separable. They can be separable such that because the implementation of each approach depends on the issue or like the problem you are trying to solve. For example, maybe you may be trying to change like the physical layout of the database or the storage of the. So basically, you're starting from the physical layer going upward. Or else the other way, or maybe it should be the other way around. Maybe that's what the scheme of the viewers. So otherwise, you'll be starting from the top, though it may not affect other phases because of data independence.
Okay, right, it's fine. So you talked about the issue of the ERA diagram. We have covered that one, and also you have talked about the other approach, which is the bottom up, which uses normalization. All right, so normalization is also a topic. I hope we have read about it because that topic is very, very important. Have you read about normalization, you guys?
Yes.
Yes, we reason.
So we are going to enjoy it immediately after this one because it's also a topic which is very, very important. All right. Okay. So, all right. We said we have got those two approaches. Let us move on to the conceptual design. What is it? And what are the issues involved? Hello, people. Hello, people. Hello, people. Please.
The conceptual design.
Yes.
It represents the global view of the entire database, with all external views integrated into single global view. That's my understanding from the reading which I have done. And the ER model mostly and widely used in this conceptual model graphically represented the conceptual scheme.
Right. Can someone also try? Because you have done assignment, so this one we should not spend much time.
Let me try. Let me try it.
Okay.
Okay. Conceptual design, it creates models that captures major entities, relationships, and among entities. I don't know if I'm correct.
I think you need to borrow from the guy who gave us the approaches. I think when he talked about the bottom down, he clearly articulated it to say you need to start from the what? From the user level. So from the user, you will be doing what? Who introduced this one? Who talked about the bottom up and the top down?
Okay, it's me. We talked about the bottom up and the top down. What I think with conceptual design is the first stage in the database process, where conceptual data model is like where we have the data model organized database concept and their relationship. And there's the purpose of creating a conceptual database is mainly to establish entities, their attributes and relationships. That's where we will see the ERFF model. This is my own contribution, sir.
All right, it's fine. So you're saying we need to make sure that at the end of it all, we have a model, and all right, and this model should list our entities, our relationships, our attributes. To say, okay, we need to come up with who talked about the merchandising here? Maybe we need to come up with a purchasing system, right? So we are saying now, guys, because with the conceptual model, what you need to understand is that you need to know the user requirements, and also you need to understand the problem. If you don't understand the problem, and if you do not gather the user requirements, then you are not going to go anywhere. Are we together?
Yes, we are together, sir.
All right, so we are saying, if you don't gather user requirements, and if you fail to understand the problem, then the challenges are there. Then the challenges are there to say the information which you are going to get from users, all right, is it the correct information? How are you going to determine the preciseness of that information? It's also a challenge, because you are now banking on the requirements which you are getting from the users. Then Then they say, no, we need a system, an ordering system, which will process the customer information, which will process our orders, which will receive our orders. Then from that information, you need to identify, to say, okay, these are my entities and they are related in this way. So at the end of the day, you need to come up with the ERA diagram. Let us move on to the logical design. It's done, Professor. Hello? All right.
Hello.
Please, let us move.
Let us me who have started the story. Can you go ahead with what we have asked?
Right, I said, let us move on to the logical design. What is it all about?
I think that part, it was another lady who talked about that one. It's not me.
You guys got. I'm going now to withdraw the assignments which I've had and do the remarking again.
Okay.
The logical design say,
Yes.
my taking, okay, my taking,
Ladies first.
it's all about the major issue about the logical design is the designer's view. Looking at how much is going to design the database with all external views integrated into single global view. That's my understanding.
All right. So we are saying, per conceptual level, we are saying, no, we are done with these entities.
Yes.
We are done with these relationships. We are done with these attributes. And then you present.
Hello?
Yes.
I think on the logical design, isn't it the second stage in the database design process? For example, where the logical a logical design for the relationship model, where we specify we specify now the relationship. That is defining the domain and the data validation, something like that. I think it's the second stage in the database design process.
All right. So what is the input to this second stage? Of course, yes, it's the second stage. What is the input to the second stage?
It's translation of those entities, attributes, and relationships.
You guys got
into a database module.
The input basically is the data from the conceptual, from the conceptual data model. That's the input for the logical design model.
you guys. Without nditange kumaka assignment.
No, see.
No, sir.
Right, okay. I'm saying we have got someone, and I want you to correct me, okay? Because remember, it's a discussion, and we have someone, he goes out to the users, collects information there. Then after collecting information, all right, He then says, oh, okay, these guys, they need an ordering system. So what are the entities involved? We need to capture these entities. And we need also to understand the attributes involved. And we need to come up with the relationship among these entities. All right, so obvious. That particular first person doing the logical design will come up with the ERA diagram. Then the ERA diagram will be presented to someone to do the logical design. So it's the input to the logical design. So I just want you to start from there. During logical design, what are you supposed to do?
All right. I think I'm getting
Data
a question.
definition. That's where we use the data definition languages to define our relations. Using those entities and attributes.
Right, we have got Sosa Overson Admire Tinashe raised hand. What's the issue, Mr. Is it Mr. or Mrs. Sosa?
It's Mr.
All right, yes.
I was thinking it's a process of it means we are now translating each entity attribute or relationship to
Into tables and
to a database.
Is it my internet or Mr. Sosa's internet?
Mr. Sosa's.
I think it's his internet.
His internet, huh?
Yes.
All right, can someone getting what he's saying?
Because
so from my own understanding, can I interject? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying we were saying at the conceptual design we were talking of the ERA module. So basically, when we are doing the logical design, now you are transferring the graphical representation from the ERA module and changing the data into table forms, which would be consisting of rows and columns. The relationships and attributes that will be represented through the use of rows and columns.
Right. Anyone with objection?
I think in this logical database design, it's just in simple terms. I need to just explain it in simple terms. Like it's just responsible for defining the data, the full detailed database information, where we'll be taking it from the ERIF models, from the diagrams. Then we put it in tables. That's where we will analyze on the tables where we go to normalization of data. But first, we'll be taking it from the ERIF model. So it's just a defining detailed database from whatever. If it's written in RIF models, someone cannot understand it logically. But if we put it in tables now and row in columns, someone can see it in a graphical presentation, maybe in rows and columns. Then after that, that's where I think we will normalize it to see if the names have been entered twice or reducing data. That's what I think this is.
Yeah. So I think now it's clear to everyone. We are saying, okay, the input to this is the ERA diagram. Then from the ERA diagram now, we need to make sure that we do some mappings so that we come up with the relations. So you need also to make sure that you analyze the relationships which are in that ERA diagram. Because in essence, if there are many to many relationships, you need to make sure that you refine them. Because in a database setup, we can't have a many to many in the actual database. So we need to make sure that we refine the database as we put it into tables so that people can understand. Let us move on to the physical.
The physical design, can I?
Yes. It's Chikomborero.
Yeah. So basically, the physical design, now this one will be involving the storage of our data and performance. But basically, it is the physical design mainly is mainly determined by the database management system that will use it. And also the storage features or the storage in terms will be also determined by the type of hardware that we're using.
All right. So in this case now we are saying, okay, we have got the tables now which are refined, but now these tables, we need to make sure that we have got the DBMS software which we are going to use to implement this database, and also we need to make sure that we define the security of the data. We need also to understand in terms of the DR plan, how are we going to recover in an event of disaster? And we need also to understand the issue of data integrity, to say, right, the data should always be consistent. There should be no changes as the data is being extracted from the database. Right, then I think it's Chakudwanas, I'm not so sure. All right, who told when he was talking about the logical design, all right, the very important point there is to make sure that once the tables are done, we need to make sure that they are normalized. So the issue of normalization should be also talked about when we are doing the logical design.
Sir, I have a question. So, in like what you are explaining, the physical database design, I think this is where we can say it's an internal level. There is noise. I think the logical design, what you are talking about, the physical, we are talking about, I think that's where we can only be done in the internal level, because the storage of database and its security, whatever, data integrity, it cannot be done by at the external level. So you can say, in short, this is an internal level.
Yes, and this one, the users will not be knowing what's happening. None of their business being done by the programmers and the database administrators.
So it's my question, like if I include that it's an internal level, is it a marking exam? Let's say you ask it, let's say you ask it, there's noise, I don't know if it's my network or whatever, someone else.
Someone, it's who is More Lillian.
Same.
Please, if you are not speaking, can you mute your mic?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let's say.
Right, sorry, before you, Mr. Kudzwanashe, right?
Okay.
Because Mo Lillian is the one who is just making the background noise. So I just want to give the platform to speak. Please do speak to us.
Sorry, say.
Is the sorry say enough?
I'm very sorry, say. I was just misconception. Like my phone is freezing.
Ah, okay. Also,
Yeah.
you are connected using a phone and a what and a laptop.
No, it's just a phone.
It's just a phone.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. It's fine. So for now, all right, we are going to give you another platform to speak. So can you put your speaker on mute?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Takuzwanashe, you were saying something?
Yeah, so it was my question because like in this presentation, I need to ask you. Hey, okay. I was asking like because I need to know what I would do in an exam situation because the main goal is for me to pass. Like when you ask about the physical part, then I said if I start by putting the point of saying it's an internal level, is it one of the appropriate points? Because I think when you ask a question, I need to like to grasp or put the main points of the topic which is being asked. So that's what I ask: is it one of the main valid points by starting in the definition? Because I think when you mark, you start by see what I defined. My definition, I think it's more. If it is more visible, you will give me more accreditable marks. So that's what I need, like the explanation set up. Like if you ask me a certain question, how will I answer it? I will increase this on certain every topic that we are going to go.
Right. Okay. All right. So the issue is that you need to understand. Personally, I would want a situation where you show me that you have read widely or you know your stuff. Because we are saying, as you are doing this database design, it starts from the user view to the internal what? To the external environment where you will be asking to say, you guys, what do you want? Then you do your logical design. Then this one now, the users, whether you change the storage or you change the platform to say, no, today we just want to migrate our database from Oracle to SQL Server, as long as the users will be working, none of their business. So to say, right, if you give me that point to say this is an internal, then I can safely say this guy knows his stuff. Because we need to relate points when we are doing databases.
I'm getting you, sir. I'm getting you.
Right, so it's fine. What's the time now? Because we need to manage our time. It's running. Because we still have normalization, and I would have wanted to do some practical of SQL statements. So let us try to improve the pace, right? So that we cover everything. Because I'm supposed to end it too, but from the look of things, it's now 1:12. And I'm also enjoying this conversation. So, right, let us move to implementation and downloading. What can you say on that one? I know this wasn't part of an assignment, but obviously, you guys, you need to read them. So we are saying the first thing which we need to do is to plan. Guys, what do we need? We are having challenge with this system. We need a new system, guys, by December 2021. Okay. Do we have the resources? Yes. Do we have the skills? Yes. Do we have the technical resources. Yes. Okay. So guys, it's approved. Let us go to the users so that we understand the problem, because we need to provide the solution which will satisfy our users. Then you do your data gathering, come up with your entities and relationships. Then from there, you need to say, okay, I've got this one, but these ones, they need to be refined so that I convert this ER diagram into relations, which are tables. Then these tables, they need to be normalized. Then after that, once they are normalized, I need to now come up with the database management software so that we implement this one. So that we need to make sure that the database is in place, and we need to make sure that everything is done to perfection in terms of security, data integrity, and what. Right? Once we have got the database in place, then we say, guys, everything is now fine. We need now to implement and download. All right, but that one I can also that download I can put another word there so that it can be implementation and migration. All right, so we are saying by implementation now we now need to make sure that we use this database system. But how are we going to use it? We need to make sure that the DBMS is in place. We need to make sure that the database is created. And once the database is created, we need to make sure that we migrate information from the old system into the new system. So that's the implementation and migration. Then we move on to testing and evaluation. When we are saying, no, guys, right, we need to make sure that we test. Of course, the system is now in place, but
hello, sir. Hello.
Okay.
When you talk about before you go for testing and evaluation, so in short, you are saying the implementation and whatever is just in installation process, because you can't test what you haven't installed in the system. So in another way, you are saying you are installing something in the system. Then after that, when you test what you've been installed, is it effective or not effective?
Yes, that's the reason why I said activities. There involves the data, which is the installation of database management system, the creation of database, then data migration. Once the data is in the system now, then we say, guys, let us do the implementation here. So let us do the testing and evaluation. So in this case now, we have got 3 activities there where we are saying, no, guys, let us test the system now. Once we so by testing, we can use integration testing, we can use unit testing, you can use system testing. What is unit testing? Chkomborero, what's happening? Your internet, it seems, is not stable. I can hardly hear you.
Okay, we can define in basic, because I only know how to define in basic. Like when we talk about unit testing, we are maybe taking like each individual unit or function of the software part. That's what I think is defining the unit testing. What
about the integration now?
Integration from my own knowledge. How the modules or how
okay. Right. Can I go ahead with the integration?
Yes.
Well, like I think now this will be where a combined software or units of software modules will be tested as a group in particular, all of them have been combined, and that's what you can say integrating the testing process.
Right, okay, what about the system?
Our system testing using
Comborero, it seems as though you are speaking from an ocean. Huh? We can hardly hear you. What's happened? I think this guy is now in an ocean where there is no internet. Right. Okay. Then there is right.
Can
So
I
who can
try?
try? All right.
Can
Yes.
I try system testing? We
Yes.
are saying now after integrating, now we want to see if the whole system is working. After when all the units are now together, we are trying to see, we test if all the components are working together to come up to achieve the goal.
All right. Okay. So if the question says differentiate between system testing and integration testing, what will be your response?
Okay, can I go ahead with that one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In defining the integration in the system testing, integration is just a combined way we have been testing a combined system units or function in the database. Then when we'll be talking about the system testing, we'll be now taking the differences that in system testing now we'll be talking. We will be like we see how those things which have been combined interact with each other. I think that's what we can define. System testing will be seeing all the unit that has been combined and tested. How do they interact or how do they work if it has been combined?
All right. So we are saying, all right. Remember, we said in the beginning we need to come up with the user requirements, and so when you are doing a system testing, you need to make sure that you are testing the complete system against vis-a-vis the functional requirements to see if it's meeting the user requirements or not. And
Yes.
right, so then there is yes, Mr. Chikom, who was speaking? Mr. Chikom,
Am I clear now?
yeah, now much better.
Okay, so I was saying another difference between integration even the other use then the other one you
We are still having problems with your internet. Mr. Chikomborero, I think it's not your day today. Hello? All right, Galaxy A30.
Yes, sir.
Right, you
I
raised
have
your
raised.
yes.
Yeah.
What are your submissions?
My question, I hardly understand you anyway. I just differentiating between the two, the system testing and the integration system. Sorry, may you kindly come again so that I can understand better.
Can you assist?
Hello, am I clear now? Can everyone? Okay, I want to try to assist you. Like when we are talking about the integration, we see how the integration will be combining the units, like the things that are being tested in the database, right? Then we combine them, then we test them to see how is it operation. Then when we're talking about the system now, we'll be talking about the whole process, all those components that has been modeled together to see is it function, how do they interact after they combined, and to see is it meeting whatever the user's requirements. So differentiate, if you are differentiating the system and the integration, what we mean, like we differentiate, we'll be saying the system is now the whole process, all the combined together to see if they work properly according to our own requirements. But when we are talking about the previous one, the integration system testing, which is a process of just giving equality assurance to see if those things, that companies that have been gathered, to see if they have a positive relationship. I think I'm trying to define in a small way that you understand.
Right. Okay. All right. So Galaxy A30. What's the name of that Galaxy A30? Yeah.
Tendai Matori.
Huh?
Tendai Matori.
Why are you hiding your identity?
I don't even know how to reach them.
Yeah. All right. It's fine. So we are saying, right, maybe just to add to what Takudzwana said. I said when you have got a system testing, you need to make sure that the system you are testing it against the functional requirements to say, is this system meeting our functions? Or it's not me, so it's functional and non-functional requirements. No, guys, because it's under user acceptance, because basing system testing, you can safely say, no, we can accept this system. Because you will be able to see the system errors, you will be able to see the system non-alignments. But with the integration, we are saying we need to test whether this module and this module can be integrated. We are testing the interface there to say this system can work together without giving us problems. So, but we cannot determine to say, we can accept the system based on the integration testing, because it's not the total system. Hope it's clear now.
Yeah, very clear, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Then we move on to evaluation. So evaluation, we are saying, okay, we need to make sure that the system is working free from errors and also free from unauthorized access. But what I want to hear from you is the changeover process now. We have got a direct changeover, we have got a parallel changeover, we have got first and pilot changeover. Can someone explain to me what is direct changeover?
I think, can I try?
Yes.
I think direct changeover is whereby we are simply changing. We are moving from the old system. We discard the old system and we implement, we use the new system without using the old system.
All right. Yes. Thank you. All right. What about parallel?
Both systems are used
The new
simultaneously.
system is started, but the old system is running in parallel. Parallel, which means side by side, they are not in the same line, unlike the direct changeover there.
So,
Say, can I need to try also in defining those things?
Okay.
The direct we will be changing like from the old one into the new. But when we say the parallel system, we'll be saying the new one that have been introduced and the old one that has been introduced, they are both working in the same way together. But in the direct, they are not both working. I think in the direct will be overriding the old system, entering the new system. But when we are talking about the parallel now, we are not overriding the old system. It's also being considered. I think I'm trying to clarify. You help me if I'm wrong, Seth.
Right, to what
No,
point?
Or maybe we can say we are running the two systems concurrently. The old one continues to work, the new one continues to work, maybe so that we can compare how the new system is will be performing.
but after rectifying the mistakes, the old system will be shut down.
But what I just want to understand now, we are saying the two systems are running. Are they going to run forever or what? Those two systems?
No,
Eventually, the old one will be shut down.
will be.
I think,
be
sir, I think we cannot say the old one will be shut down, because what if we say the old one will be shut down, then we see like the new system that you introduced is not better than the old one. The old one is far much better. But we say, to conclude, I think we say one of the systems will be removed, will not be working when we find a conclusion. Because if we try to say, we conclude that the old one will be removed, there are certain circumstances when we see the new one that we introduced is not better than the old one. I think that's my own contribution.
Right, okay. What we are saying, what you need to understand is changeover. What is changeover? If you are able to define changeover, then the objective of changeover is to make sure that we remain with one system. So we are saying, at the end of the day, we are saying, okay, let us use these two systems for now until we reach a point where users are satisfied with the new system. Then we eventually drop the old. Are you happy now, Takudzwanashe?
I'm not happy. What if the users are not satisfied with the new system?
If they are not satisfied, then we need to make sure that, because how can you continue with a system where users are not yet with it?
Okay, I understand it, sir. I understand it. I was just waiting for just a conversation, but I understand everything you said. I'm clear with it.
Yeah, but it's fine because it's opening our eyes. It's opening our eyes and opening our minds to say, okay, at what point are we going to drop another system during the parallel changeover? So what is first the changeover?
No.
I think this is when the system is implemented in stages, and that way it also allows users to get used to the system and also identify any problems.
Did I get you correctly? You said what?
I'm saying this is when parts of the system are activated one step at a time or in stages, and this allows the users to get used to the system bit by bit.
Stage by stage.
All right, okay, can someone differentiate for me pilot changeover and first changeover?
Okay, let me try. I think when we are piloting, we are trying to see if it works. We just choose maybe a department, and then we see if it works, if that new system is working for that particular department. And then when we say phase, then we do in phases. If it works for the other, maybe we take the departments, we say certain departments, they are in phase 1. The other departments, they are in phase 2, in phase 3. When we get to phase 4, maybe that's the final. Then we implement the whole system.
All right, anyone with another different school of thought?
Maybe
Storage Comborero?
I can hold on. When you talk of the pioneer, it's more like what
It seems as though we are having challenge now with the Comborero. Right, okay. Anyone else?
So I think in phased implementation, the old parts of the system are now introduced into the new system and taken off, then allows the users or the users are being allowed to get used to the new system. Then in pilot running, I think the system now is successfully running. The new system is then introduced to all the business or all the people or organization. On the phased implementation there, we are looking for the users. While it's on the pilot running there, we'll be looking at all people and all the business that needs that system.
To contribute, like the importance, like if it's in the first system whereby we'll be changing over from an existing to a new one, but in stage process or in a slow way, like the advantage is good. We have like a better planning, because if you just do it in a fast way with those phases they give us an allowance to see, or the gradual, to when we be doing that gradual process of changing from the old system to the new system, it will give us an allowance of a planning. It will give us the better results. Maybe contesting in regards of the rolling solutions to the end users, and we have the better planning.
It's fine. I think the first speaker explained that one very well. The first speaker. Who was the first speaker? Is it Valencia or Tablet? Or what? Or
Financia.
It's Financiant. Yeah, I think she explained that one very well to say, if we are doing a pilot running, we are introducing a new system to one part of the company first, then rolling it to other departments at a later stage. Then the first one. So we are saying the new system is implemented one part at a time. So we are saying no. Let us start invoicing. That's the first move. Then we move on to CRM until you get to all the departments. Let us move to maintenance. All right, so we need to make sure that when the system is now in use, we need to make sure that there is maintenance work happening. It can be preventive maintenance, or corrective maintenance. Usually preventive maintenance, we are saying, let us make sure that we do our backups. And we are going to use these backups in an event of disaster. Then the corrective action in an event that you have struck with disaster, you should be able to restore back the system into use. And we need to make sure that there is database fine tuning. We need to make sure that we carry out housekeeping issues in the database. That is maintenance. Right, let us quickly move on to the relational model in DBMS, unless if there are any questions. Right, okay, it's fine. So we are saying when we talk of relational data models, all right, take a database that has got the use of relations, and by relations we are talking of tables, and a table having the columns and rows. So we need to, whenever you are naming a table, there are certain properties which you need to follow. And these properties are the same if you are naming an attribute, and they are also the same if you are naming an entity. So this one, I think you can read. All right, okay, my question to you, what is meant by integrity constraints, and describe any 4 integrity constraints?
Okay, I'll try. Integrity constraints. These are a set of rules that are used to maintain the quality of information. These rules they ensure that the data insertion, updating, and other processes are performed in such a way that data integrity is not affected. And it also is used to guard against accidental damage to the database.
Yes. All right, so the set of rules, that's the key there. So that's the set of rules, that's the key expression, which is key. So we need to make sure that we guard against our database by enforcing certain procedures. Right, okay. So, all right, we need to come up with those integrity constraints. Let us quickly do this one, please.
Okay, I'll give one of them, the entity constraint. This one is used to ensure the uniqueness of each record or row in the data table. It also states that our primary key cannot have a null value.
Right, so we are saying whenever you are doing you are creating a table, you need to make sure that you define a primary key. Once the primary key is defined, the primary key will not allow null values. That's entity constraints. All right, next constraint.
I just want to try, but I think there is a referential integrity constraint, which is mainly deals with the foreign key.
Yes. All right, so we are saying when we talk of relationships, and it's by ER diagram, by okay, we have got a customer, and it is related to what? To info, is it to what? What can I say? All right, let me use this. The student. A student is related to what? a module. There's a relationship. Hello, I'm just
Yes, there is
asking.
there is a relationship between a student and a model.
Right. So if there is a relationship, we need to make sure that for us to enforce referential integrity on those two tables, we need to use foreign keys. Where we are saying in a student table, we need to put a module ID, or in the module ID, we need to put a student ID so that we enforce referential integrity. Right, another point.
There is also the domain constraint, which restricts the kind of attributes or values a column can hold. For example, we can specify if a particular column can hold a null value or not, the data type or size that can be entered in the column, and the default value for the column.
Right. Right. If I heard you correctly, all right, you talked about the null values, but if you talk of a null value, it becomes a key constraint. But we are saying the entities have got the attributes. So in a table, if you are defining the attributes, you need to make sure that you specify to say, is it an integer? Is it a character? Is it date? Is it current or man? All right, so if you define an attribute as man or as integer, obvious, it will not allow characters. It becomes a domain constraint. Are we together?
Yes, we are together.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So let us quickly go to normalization. All right, so how much time do we need to normalization? Because I wanted us to do a practical, so that you know how to create a database, to create a table, to insert. Otherwise, maybe you've done that one, and it's cheap, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have done it already, and so there is no need for us to do it today.
Yeah, normalization. Ruto not about mazita akafanana but normalize. 101 and 101 record the same. We should need to normalize it, put in the same. To create a new foreign tables, whatever. I'm
not talking about normalization. I'm talking about SQL statements. Have you done those? To say, to create a database, to create a table, insert something in a table, to do a count, to do a sum, to add a column. You have done that.
Not that much in SQL, and I'm not saying that much. I have a little problem in SQL.
So who else is right? Who doesn't have problems with SQL statements from this group, so that I can assign that particular person to assist others? Chikomborero, are you comfortable with SQL statements?
Because when we started, I just only the basic with defining the table, starting from the database, data definition language, but this one I need someone to assist me from the group.
Right. Okay. So normalization. So I started by saying it's the process of organizing the data in a database to avoid data redundancy, insertion anomaly, update anomaly, and deletion anomaly. So let us discuss those issues. What is a insertion anomaly?
And I need to try. Initiation anomaly can be the inability to add data to the database due to maybe to some absence of another data. For example, let me think. Okay, someone else.
Right, okay. All right, there is that table, and it can look at that table. So what we are saying is that if the particular person, maybe the HRI has recruited someone and they've not yet allocated an employee a department, it will be difficult for you to add that particular person because that particular person has got what? No department. Are we together? So there is an
Yes.
insertion problem because, but in essence, there should be a certain split because so that the employee details can be added without affecting a department. So if a table is not normalized, it will result in an insertion anomaly because of something, because the table is somehow made to be one, but it's difficult to, because there is no dependence there. All right, what about update anomaly?
Can I try saying?
Yes.
Yeah, from my understanding, from the way you have been outlined the previous one, I think the update, you can't update the person when you don't have that person in the system. First, that person should be in the system so that when we get new information, we can go and update the information that we may need to add to that person or to the organization. That information is cannot be of value if we don't have the person in the database or the organization doesn't have that in the database.
All right, can someone try?
Let me try. It can be as a result, update anomaly can be a result of data inconsistency, and that may result maybe in redundancy or partial data that is being ended.
Right, okay, so in this case, if you look at that table, we have got Ricky there. That particular person is assigned to 2 departments. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
So if suppose the address of that particular person is changed and you need to update the address there, what it means is that you need to fetch and look across the database to change all the entries. But the updating anomaly may arise in an event that you update an address for one entry and you forget the other one. It will result in inconsistency because another record will be saying Delhi and another record will be saying maybe Mumbai. Are we together?
Yes.
Right, what about delete anomaly? Yes, it's what Shelton.
Let me try. When delete anomaly can be a certain situation where you delete an attribute that does not need to be deleted.
Yes. All right. Okay. Suppose we have closed department D001. As you can see the first record there. Suppose we are saying, no. As a company, we have closed department 001. So there are no employees attached to that one. For you to delete that D001, obvious you are going to delete Ricky. But Ricky is still within the Kanban. You are not supposed to delete it. So it will cause a deletion anomaly.
We are together, sir.
Yes, we are.
Right. Okay. Let us move on to the types of normal forms. We have got the first normal form, the second, the third, and that one is sometimes called 3.5. It's still third normal form. Right. So, from your understanding, I'm happy you said you have read normalization. Right. What can you say? One normal form.
I think when I tried to do this, I can give you example like where I tackle. If you give me a table mostly in the tables.
Let me give you a table there. Let me give you that table. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. So in essence, we are saying one normal form, we need to eliminate repeating groups in individual tables. We need to create separate tables for each set of related data. Identify each set of related data with a primary key. Right, so in this case, that one is not normalized. We need to normalize that one to one normal form. What are we supposed to do?
I can just see this in class 1 and class 2, the data is being repeated. So let me do it.
So what are we supposed to do? All right, so in this case, we need to come up with 4 columns, which is the student number, advisor, advice room, then class, and so that the first row will be 1022 Jones 412 101/7. The second one being 1022 Jones 412, then class it becomes 4301. Then the third one becomes 1022 Jones 412, then 159/02. Are we together?
Yes, we are together, sir.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Are we all in picture? If you don't listen carefully, this normalization will separate men from boys. Separate boys from men.
Say, let me explain it short. Let me explain it short. I think it's not clear. When you say like tutorial panya normalization, could parents one form up. Tutorial depending on let's say my data same data repeat. Like example, to one baganzi one joins. And you are in class 1, which you cannot pagan 10001 to 107, and it is same number. You didn't end up as a school pagans under Smith. You got a class 1 papa pagan your one same number. So how can you remove that type of repeating the same number? You when you're like a 1. That's what we mean the institution. So solution you actually put 10107. I once in the system. That's what we are trying to say. I think now try to clarify.
We clarify with Udiwe.
Say router kuti amunanezwa. Okay, nduti nishona nini? Anipa mwanga paka class 1 apa. Kwata some class 1 iwo uri kuona kuti makajokorwa the same type of data 10107 paza futi pana Smith pakajokorwa the same type of data 10107. And it said how can we make sure that data rosa jokorwe 2 times? That's when patu gadzira chi do we finish the PSA from a solution yacho do zvamurunga zvamaruchita pamuchicreate new tables.
Right. Pamanje pa first normal form up. Remember that we want to eliminate repeating groups. Saka repeating groups urikuona ndapi? Class 1 classes. Saka tiri kuti isusu we just want it to be class. But repetition yacho yese inodiwa. So which means how many records do we need to have? How many? How many records? Ma rows atinofala kita come up with mangani.
We need 4 records.
I think Jones is going to have another record with 14301. Wait after the record in a 15902. So that Jones will have
records mangani.
Anengani ma student number are the same, are three, but on different classes.
Yes.
Because
then
we should have the unique roles.
Same ID with different G.
Yes.
So which means we need to come up with what?
6 records.
Yes.
2, 4, 6 years.
Right, so another question, that one.
Right. This one, we employee name HL is going to have another record in a 101. We should fill up that blank because they should not be blank. 888 row should be filled up.
So how many rows?
6
1,
rows,
2, 3, 4, 5,
mobile
6.
number.
Which means chofala kubana 102 Jones Kente choba 388 want then another one. So which means we need to come up with that together.
Yes.
Right, pane vambosumudza maoko, where are they now?
I say patato indatorasika.
I said we are going to separate boys from men. Right. What's the challenge? Anzi ndakanga galaxy anti-nature. What's the problem? Tendai.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me go back and So this one, first question. Yauya Ichita repeat my classes, and then we said, we need to make sure that we have got a class, then we repeat the rows. Wapanzwa apa tendaya.
Apa
Oh, saka pausina kunzwa apa.
Pandisina kuzonzwisisa ndepekuti tasvika sei patable yatakatarisa.
Is another question.
It's a new table.
It's a new table. Okay. Irikuda kuti tise pa one first normal form. Okay. Saka are you able now to put it one normal form?
Yeah, let me try.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if okay, give me just a minute. Go through. I think my student.
Alright, noda ukuthi tikupe minute mira tombotora mvura yekumwa.
Right, I see. Ndaona sokuti from the table, the ID numbers, they are not a problem because each and every employee has got his or her own ID of identity. Then their names, they are totally different from each other, as well as their address. But the mobile numbers, the employees have got, some of these employees, they've got 2 contacts. So I think where there is a lot of contacts here, there is need for us to make that table into first normal form.
Right, so table yacho ichange yakaita sei?
I think the table. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, just go ahead. I'll be listening.
so this is the table, and
Yes.
are we all able to come up to this table?
Yes, I am. I don't know others.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
So let us move to second normal form. All right. A table said to be in second normal form if both the following, if right one, the table should be in first normal form first. Then there should be no non-prime attribute, which is depending on the proper subset of the candidate key. Takambozvita kazoba candidate keys. That day we defined a candidate key, a primary key, a super key,
Foreign key.
a foreign key, and we have defined these keys, and
yes.
Right. So in this case, we need to understand these keys correctly. We are saying there is what we call an attribute that is not part of any candidate key is known as a non-prime attribute. So what is a candidate key?
It is a set of attributes that uniquely identifies the rows in a table.
Right. Okay. So in this case, what is our candidate key? That we have got this one and this one. At it has ways per first normal form and it. Hello? Am I speaking to? All right, so this one, of course, this is the table which we are going to be using from first to third normal form. So I just want you to put it to second normal form, this one. Right, okay. You guys. All right, I want you to read this. Create separate tables for sets of values that apply to multiple records. All right, so in this case, Anditika, We are saying the candidate key which we are having. Sorry.
Student number. Advisor.
Right, it's okay. Let us proceed. Sorry for the inconvenience. Right, so we are saying we need to separate because we are saying we need to identify the candidate key or candidate keys for that table. What are the candidate keys there? A table which can uniquely identify the rows.
Sir, I tried to normalize. Let me say what I did. I put student ID, then I put the advisor name, which is Jones, then and the advisor room. Those three cannot be repeated.
Okay.
If I can create a new table, student hash, advisor, and advisor room, those three, they can be uniquely entered in this one. That's what I created in my own. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are correct there. Then what else did you do? Because remember now, because what we are saying in this case, and you are saying advisor and advisor room, right? They depend on the student number. What about class? Class depends on what?
Class depends on the student. So I think we need to create a second table with a student and class.
Yes. Right. So what will be the contents of that table? Student and a class.
Student number and class.
Right. So right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So that is what you have discovered, right?
Yes.
Right, it's fine. So let me give you another example. Right, okay, another example. Let us come with the second normal form for that table. All right, are you doing something behind the scenes there?
Yes, we are doing so.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
right? We have got teacher ID and teacher age.
All right, teacher ID and teacher age, yes.
Yeah, where we can have the 111, which is being the teacher ID, then their age as well. Then as well, we have got teacher ID and the subjects which they are teaching.
Right, so I just want to understand the rows there, which you are going to put on the on that table, teacher details table, where we are saying teacher ID 113.
Yes,
Then teacher
then the
age
teacher
38.
age, which is 38. Then
Mhm.
the teacher ID, which is 111, as well as the subject, which is maths of maths physics in their order as well.
Don't mix things, comrade. Don't mix things. We are saying we need to understand, okay, the subject, obvious, the subject can be taught by a teacher. There is a relationship between a subject and teacher ID. And also there's a relationship between teacher age and teacher ID. And so we need to understand to say this teacher details, which IDs are we going to put there and which ages are we going to put there? So how many rows are we going to get?
On the teacher table, I think it's 3 rows on the teacher, the table which will be having the teacher ID and the teacher age. It will be having 3 rows only for teacher ID 111, 222, and 333. We don't need to repeat.
You don't need to repeat. Right. So we are now in agreement. Then another table.
Subject.
Right. Subject. Right. What will be the contents of that?
This one will be having 5 rows because we can't have we can't have this 2 values in one row. So we still need to repeat 111, we put maths, 111, we put physics, 333 physics, 333 chemistry. So we still need to state them individually. So it comes down to 5 rows.
Right. So anyone with anyone disagreeing to that submission?
Yeah, I agree.
Understood.
Right. Okay. So that's the what? That's the second normal form. Right. So let us move on to third normal form. All right. This one. Chakudzwa, I'm happy that you said you have read extensively on this one. Can you explain to us?
See, I read like other students. Let me try to explain.
So I'm happy.
So other students, they might know better than me. It's just that I said I know normalization, how to normalize that if I'm given something.
Right. Okay. So can someone try? Then you comment. It's fine. Can someone try to explain to us the third normal form?
Can I try?
Yes.
The table should be in the first normal form. It should be in the second normal form. It should satisfy all those first and second normal form. Then the main key there, I think, is the transitive functional dependency.
What is it?
I think we are saying all fields must only be detailed, like they should have primary or we should not have primary or composite keys. We should have. I think that one I'm not sure, but I can do it practically.
Oh, okay. If you can do it practically, it's fine. All right, that's the first table, our first table. Let us work on that one to put it to 3 normal form. All right, you guys, are you doing something behind the scenes or something?
Yeah, we are working, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, let us do it quickly. All right, how much time do you need, guys?
Okay, let me try for starters. The first table, we can have a table for the student number and the advisor. And then we have a second one for the advisor in the advisor room. And then a third one for the student and the class. I stand to be corrected.
All right, so because we don't need duplicates in this case. Because actually we said the table, sorry, we said the table should be in, sorry, this is not there. This one. The table should be in second normal form. This is the second normal form. All right, so from these, which tables do we have now?
I added a third one whereby we have the advisor in the advisor room. I don't know if it's correct.
You have added one for?
A third one for advisor and advisor room. From the ones which were into normal, second normal form.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Advisor, it depends on what?
On
Student ID. Hmm?
Yes, yes.
So which means we have a table with student and advisor. All right, then
Yes.
advisor room. Advisor room depends on what?
On the advisor.
Advisor.
On advisor.
Yes.
All right. Then what about class?
It depends on student.
All right, so which tables do we have now?
Student.
We have a table, student number and advisor.
Student number and advisor as a
And then,
table. Then the second table.
And then advisor room and advisor.
Then another one.
The student number in the class.
Student and the class.
And the student in the class. Right. Ndozamawa nawe vana Joe. Huh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right. Another question.
I can identify that there is the MB state and MB state. It's another table there. It's another table. I can see MB state and MB state.
MB state and what?
MB state there.
Right. Okay, Inzwaka. And suppose a company wants to store the complete address of each employee. They create a table named employee details that looks like this, that one. And so we are saying these guys, they just want to keep employee details. So we need to establish relationships there. Which relationships are there? Because the candidate key is what? Employee ID. Right, so which one is related to employee ID?
The employee name.
Employee name and? All right. So another relationship,
state and city.
Right. Okay. If you look at other companies, other countries, that zip you. Idenge irio an ID for state, city, and district. Yes. I don't think in Zimbabwe we have got a zip. Because Patumbo is zip ndongo nyora chiro yandadai.
263.
Yeah,
that one is not the zip number doesn't necessarily mean which in J phone 263 again.
So there's a relationship between state and city.
So in this case, we have got also a table with M zip, M state, M city, and M district. That's the table. But now we need to establish how are we going to link these tables. So I need two tables there. So the first table will be what?
Employee ID and employee name. That's the first one.
It's not. Why are you saying it's the first one?
I just saying the way I normalize I normalize the employee ID and the employee name. Then I find that there's the relationship between the state and the city. Like if you check on TN, they are in the same state and they are in the same city. The truth TN. Okay. So there is a relationship there.
So in this case, suppose you was on the find an employee and did it come? Right, because write an SQL statement that display an employee staying in employee city is equals to Agra. How are you going to do that? For you to be able to do that, we need to enforce the foreign key there. So another table should have a foreign key. So it's emp ID, emp name, and emp zip. That's the first table. Then the second table becomes emp zip, emp state, emp city, and emp district. Any questions? Tiritese here.
Yes.
Vanenge varasika, it's fine. Tosangana muexam. I don't think we'll be able to cover everything. I will send you this thing so that it will guide you. Because I wanted you to, all right, I'm supposed to have ended this session by 2 o'clock. So now it's my luxury to be continuing with you like this. Right, it's fine, guys. So you would read on this BCF, and then I just want you to, this one you can read, this one you can read. Data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, then data transaction control language, 4th generation you can read. But I want us to do this one. These questions, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it okay with you?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
All right, so I just want, I don't know how we are going to do it. I just want you to capture my screen, this screen, and so that capture this screen, because I'm going to share my actual database. So capture this screen so that we'll be knowing the questions. And have you captured this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
All right, capture this one also. Have you captured it?
Yes.
Then this one. Have you captured it?
Yes.
Right, it's okay. So let me share my screen. Hope you are not yet tired. So how many people have right, let me share my screen here. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes, sir. You can see it.
Oh, right. What can I do now? I want this session to be interactive. Right, so takudzwa what ari kuziva ma database ndiani manje? Ari kuda kuparticipate because I just want to give you my rights to my machine. Who wants to participate? Or who wants to lead the session? You guys, are you still there?
Yes, we are there.
Right, it's fine. So, Financia, I've given you the right to my screen.
I'm using a phone.
You're using a phone. Who is using a laptop?
I'm using a phone.
Who is using a laptop? That's one waenda. Takudzwa
say-
waenda. No?
Andrew, not supposed to use a laptop.
Who is using a laptop? All right, it's fine. I wanted someone to lead the process, but anyway, all right, what was our first question?
It's saying create a database bank.
All right, so it's fine. So in this case, we need to create database. Right, from this, there is no database in this platform. So we are going to create a database, and so create database bank. Right, so obvious I have to execute here. Right, so it's created. If I refresh now, right, the database is now there. You can see it. Okay, so what's the next question?
Create a table.
Create a table. Create table. What's the name of the table?
Bank details.
Bank details. Right. What are the columns?
Product, the string data type.
Product.
With string data type.
The string data type. So it can be varchar or it can be char. Right. What else?
Quantity as an integer.
Quantity as integer. What else?
Price with real number data type.
Price, real
number data type.
Another field.
Purchase cost with decimal data type.
Purchase cost
with decimal data type.
Decimal.
Then estimated sale price with data type plot.
Estimated data, estimated
Sale price.
sales. Estimated sales price.
Sale price with data type plot.
All right. Right. Next. Another. Hello.
Number the creating the table. It's the creating the table part should be done. We're now number 3.
Oh, so this one
we
is
have
done.
to insert. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So we need to execute this one. Right. So in this one, we have got. All right. We need to refresh here. Oh, okay. Sorry. I made a blunder here. Right. So I need to execute it against the database bank. Okay. Right. So it's now there, right? So the next question. Hello.
We want to insert 2 records into the table.
All right. What are the records? Insert
2 records into bank details. The first record with the following values.
Right.
Products.
So product.
Pay card. Quantity 3.
Sorry. Price. I just want to then purchase. Then estimated. Right. Values. Right. What are the value for product is what?
Quantity 3.
Value for
Product pay card.
Pay card.
Pay card.
Quantity.
The quantity is 3. 3. The price is 330.
330.
Yes, 330. The purchase cost is 8008.
8008.
And then the estimated sale price is 9009.
9009. So this one, if we execute it, right, we can say select all from bank details. So we can see what we have inserted. And
Yes.
what was the other question?
On this same question, it's asking that we insert another value as well.
There is no need for me to insert because I just wanted to show you how to insert. So move to the next.
Okay, the next one is asking that we add a column.
Right, outer. Details. Add column, what's the name of the column?
The column geolocation.
Outer table. Is what is the, is it int? Geolocation is not, huh? Did they specify the data type?
No, it's just a,
So I can put whatever I want. Huh?
Answer with the data type, varchar and size 20.
Ah, okay. Size 20. All right, so I can execute this. All right, so now if I want to check the design, obviously the geolocation is now there. You can see it.
yes.
Aba tushandisa chiko kugadzira matebha.
Huh?
Matebha tushandisa application ipi kugadzira.
Tiri kushandisa chi?
Application yatiri kunyorera inonzi SQL.
This one is SQL Server, this one. But the SQL statements are the same.
So tokwanisa kushandisa anything else besides this one.
You can use MySQL, you can use Oracle, you can use Postgres.
So we need to download this one then.
Yeah, you need to download these ones because you cannot practice without this one.
And thank you.
And for your own information, all right, we are saying if you want to be someone, a remote database administration, obvious this will be your job. So obvious you need to know how to execute these statements in SQL.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
All right, what's the other question?
Alter the product field from char to varchar in bank details.
Right, so chonyora kuti chi andingangorambi ndichinyora ndega. Ndatozoona kuti indaongonyoreswa. All right, so what are we supposed to do? We need to use outer what?
Char.
Huh? The table is what? Bank details. Then I do what?
We are supposed to alter the product field, but then it's saying from char to varchar, but isn't it ours is already varchar?
All right, so let us alter it from varchar to what?
To char. To char.
Right, so now if we refresh here, then we come to this table. The product is still what? Varchar.
Yes, it's still varchar, but we wanted to change it to char.
So what happened? What happened to my statement?
Bank details.
Right, outer table, bank details, outer column, products. Then, sorry. You should be able to change the design. Yeah, you can see it has changed.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right, what's the another question?
Selecting all details from the table, bank details.
This one we have done it, this one.
Yes.
Another question?
We are counting all details. I don't know. Count all details from bank details.
Select count. From so there is one record. I said 8 instead of this one.
Oh, yeah, I actually wanted to ask what the 8 is for.
This one it's all. Then what else?
Okay. That's all. I don't know if I missed a slide.
No, it's fine. So guys, I think this marks the end of our tutorial for today. We're supposed to have ended it too, but I thought it's better that we try to cover as much as is possible. All right, so what I can safely say is that you guys, you still need to read a lot, and you need to prepare for your exams, and you need to make sure that you practice much on the Excel statements, not only for the exam, but for your personal growth. Are there any questions?
Yes, we understand we are writing online. So I just wanted to know about the structure of the paper. Is it changing from?
You are outside the country. Exams going to be online.
That is what we were told. They said most of the modules are going to be online. That's the information which we have.
I think I will not be able to
answer that one.
question. Yeah, because
okay,
you need to engage Maruf on that one.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right, thank you very much, guys. I wish you the best.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah,